Okay, we will start now. So yesterday we left at this point, that is area field attributes. Okay, so now we have a few packages, few functions in the PHIGS library which we can use. So what is the very first thing that we are going to see is the area field attributes. Okay, so what it says is for filling any area we have choice between solid colors or patterns. Okay, so now based on that we have a readily available thing that we can use to do this thing instead of going with any particular algorithm or with any concept. What we can do is we can choose any of this thing. If you want to like fill a polygon with a solid color, then you can simply do this thing with this area fill attribute. Similar thing is to be followed with the patterns. Okay, so we'll see this thing, which are the things that are available to us. The first thing that we have is the fill styles, then pattern fill and the soft fill. Okay, so for first of all we have fill styles. So area are generally displayed with three basic styles. Okay, so very first thing that you already know that you have is hollow with colored border. Okay, or a simple black border. So basic thing is that, so you'd be having this thing, and what you have to do is you can do this thing, you can simply keep it hollow with some colored border. Okay, another thing is filled with solid color. So this thing can also be done with this fill styles. Okay, and then fill it with some specific design. So these are the three things that you can do with the fill styles. Okay, so now the thing is, if you are like learning this thing and if you going through it, what you need to remember is this thing would be like asked in the MCQ part. If we take any like quizzes or something that is very easy or very like simple to like give you, so basic thing is that, so at that point of time you need to keep this thing in mind. Okay, so it could be like, okay, what which are the correct signal, or which choose from the given alternatives, that what is the correct thing for like giving the fill styles. Okay, or to fill that thing with a solid color. So in that you would be given few options, and from that you have to choose the correct one. Okay, so in our case this is the correct one. So fill styles is selected by the following function, that is set interior style. Okay, fs is our parameter. So this is how you can like fill it, and the value of fs include hollow, solid and pattern. Okay, so basic thing is that, so if you choose any of this thing, you have to write that particular thing inside the parameter. So instead of value you have to write that particular thing. Over here it is hollow. If you want it hollow, then you can write hollow in the fs field. Similarly solid and pattern can be written. Okay, so that is one thing. Another thing is, another value for fill style is hatch. Okay, now what is this hatch? So basically it is a pattern of line that looks like parallel line or cross line. Okay, so we will be having something like this in hatch field. So we have hollow, solid and then pattern, some particular pattern. It is based on the intensities that you set in the matrix. Okay, so hollow, solid and pattern. And one more thing that we can do is we can fill it with the hatch fill. Okay, and then diagonal cross hatch fill. So these are the things that this like package or this library is giving us, that you can simply put it in your object or put it in your shape. So for setting interior color in PHIGS package, we use this thing, that is set interior color index. Okay, followed with one thing, that is FC. Okay, fill color, and that is where you have to pass your value. Okay, where FC specifies the fill color. Similarly we have one more thing, that is pattern fill. Okay, so if you choose and if you give like pattern in this pi, or we select the pattern with set interior style index pi. Okay, so what you can do is you can choose from the any readily available pattern that is given to you or that is already with you, or else what you can do is you can just modify these parameters that are over here, and you can make your own pattern. Suppose if you don't want this specific pattern, okay, over here we have one predefined pattern that you can use, but if you don't want it, then you can create your custom pattern for your own purpose. Okay, so that is what you can do, where index pattern index parameter is pi specify the position in pattern table entry. Okay, so now each and every index is each and every value that you give would like give you or would link that thing with the readily available thing that is in the library. Okay, so now for example we have these two things. Okay, first of all what you are going to do is you are going to choose one thing that is out of the solid, hollow or pattern. You'll be giving one parameter, this pattern. Okay, now if you want pattern, then which kind of pattern you want to display. So for that purpose we have one more thing, that is set interior style index. In that you can give your value. Okay, so there's nothing but what it says is you'd be having some value, you are having some values in the matrix that is actually doing nothing but it is like illuminating, or it is like giving that thing. Okay, if I want something in that particular position, or if I want something in that pixel, so your like original pixel is getting subdivided into multiple pixels, and based on this thing your like sub pixels are illuminated with that intensity. So basic thing is you are giving this value, and this values are doing nothing but it is setting some intensity to display some pattern. So you have to deal with it. If you want a particular thing in your own like object, then what you can do is you can create your own. So how you can do it, like in this thing, fill area, and inside that we have two parameters over here, that is n comma points. So that is what you can do. So you have to go through all of this thing, and yeah, a thing that you can keep in mind is like once you like deal with this thing, you have to remember each and every of this index, because in the examination or in the MCQ part you can expect this thing. Okay, so yeah, so we can also maintain separate table for hash pattern. Okay, we can generate our own table with the required pattern. As I told you, creating custom pattern could be done. Okay, so other function used for setting other style as follow. Okay, so now we have one function over here, that is set pattern size. Okay, and set pattern reference position over here. So now what it says, we can create our own pattern by setting and resetting group of pixel and then map into the color matrix. Okay, so basic thing is what it says is you just have to give the pixel position, and you gotta give some color or give something to that particular pixel. Okay, so by that thing you can create your own custom thing. Okay, so now that is a very simple thing that you can go through whenever we are working with like colors or painting that, or painting an object. So now we have one more thing over here, that is the soft fill. Okay, soft fill is one more like very important thing that you can use, is filling layer of color on background color so that we can obtain the combination of both the colors. Okay, so now we have readily available thing, and what we are doing is we are like putting new color to that older one. Okay, so that would be giving us the combination of both colors. Now it is used to recolor or repaint so that we obtain layer of multiple color and get a new color combination. Okay, you don't have a hollow thing, or you don't have a white like readily available thing, but instead of that you'd be having some color. That is what you have to do, you just have to repaint it, or like combine the new color with the old color. So that is what soft fill says. So now one use of this algorithm is soften the fill at boundary so that blurred effect will reduce the aliasing effect. Okay, sometime you'd be facing, because you are not dealing with that much higher technology, and we are not like working with that much frame size, and we don't have that much refresh rate and all, because we are dealing with the like scan raster scan display. So what it says is at some point we'd be like dealing with this thing, or we need something that would like blur that thing to reduce the aliasing effect. Why we are getting this aliasing effect? Because what we are doing is we are like rounding off the things to the nearest integer value. We are not considering the floating point over here, and we are not dealing with this thing, we are not working with this thing like if you are working with rounded off integer values, and then but obviously the like intermediate pixels like that are in the floating point or something would get like would be omitted simply. So in that case what it says is we need something to like reduce this thing, because we will be getting a staircase kind of appearance in our object. So to do this thing, if you want to reduce this effect, that staircase type of thing, what we can do is we can blur that particular portion. Okay, instead of getting a sharp thing. So that could be done with the soft fill. So what it says is if we fill t amount, yeah, t amount of foreground color, then pixel color is obtained as as given in this equation. So we have P equal to TF, that is the T amount of color, foreground color has been added to the foreground color, that is F. Okay, and then we have added it to the background color. Okay, where F is the foreground color and B is the background color. Okay, so we need this thing to do the product of our coefficient. Okay, so it is 1 minus T into B. So it would be giving you the new color, whatever thing you have added it to the background color. So that is what it says. Now we if we see this color in RGB component, then what it says, So now we have to consider this thing based on the pixel, based on the foreground color as well as the background color. Okay, and each and every like color would be having, but obviously our primary colors are this RGB in our in this case. So you'd be giving some intensity or you'd be giving some values. Okay, so based on the values, based on the summation, based on the product that you are doing in the equation, you'd be getting something new. Okay, so now what it says is that we calculate T as follows. Okay, so what is the first thing that is written over here? That is a pixel like at that gate point minus background of that gate point. Okay, that is nothing but the pixel color and as well as the background color. Similarly, what it says divided by the foreground minus background gate coordinate. Okay, and that would be equal to T. So T is nothing but the amount of the color that we would be getting out of that. Whole of this thing would be giving you the T value. Okay, so now similar thing, if you don't want to just give one color and if you are like working with more than one or two colors, so or say if you use more than two colors, say three at that time, equation becomes as follows. Okay, so this is the T0 amount. Okay, that is the first thing that you are adding with the foreground color. Okay, and then we have another thing that is the T1 amount of the second color that you are giving with the background color, and at the end you'd be having whole of this thing multiplied with the like the very first layer that you are having. Okay, that can be denoted by B2. So now you have three things. There is the foreground color, beneath that you have one more layer of color that can be denoted by B1. In that you are adding this thing, this T1 amount of color, and whole of this thing is needed to be like multiplied with the like the thing that is at the very bottom of your surface or of your object, that is B2. That color that is given over here is B2. That is what it says, and whole of this thing would be giving you a new combination. Okay, so where the sum of coefficient T0, T1 and this is 1. Okay, so that is why we need this thing at this particular stage. So that is the basic fundamental of soft fill. As we have seen, see, whenever you work with this area fill attributes, you have to keep this thing in mind. Okay, so now we have one more thing, that is the character attributes. So but obviously if you are working with this kind of shapes and objects and alphabets and all, so you'd be having few more things in PHIGS library package. So what it says is the appearance of displayed character is controlled by attributes such as font, size, and color. Okay, orientation. So now attributes can be set for entire string or maybe individually. Okay, so you can do it for this thing. Okay, so text attribute. So in text we are having so many style and design like italic font and bold font, etc. So that can be set, but obviously you need not need that kind of description for this thing because it's very simple that you can understand. So now for setting the font style in PHIGS package, we have this function that is set font text font, that is TF. Okay, so you need to give that some value to this parameter where TF is used to specify the text font. Okay, similar thing is for setting the colors of the character. You are having one thing that is set text color index. As it looks simple, but wo kya hoga sab at the end, if you get all of this thing together, you won't be able to remember the exact like syntax of it. Okay, so try to like keep this thing in mind and then you can learn it. Okay, so that is set text color index. This is the parameter that you can give. Okay, text color specifies an allowable color code. Okay, for setting the size of the text we use character height. Okay, over here set character height is capital, and similar way you can give it. Okay, so now you can view of a thing like you generally you might be using that one thing that we have, that is MS Word or Paint or something. In that what you do is you try to like print something, and out of the UI that is given to you, you try to give all of this thing. Okay, but instead of that, now you won't be having any UI, but instead of that you just have to hard code it. Okay, and the similar things could be done in this way. So you just have to use a readily available function and you have to specify the parameters, so that could be easier for you. Okay, for scaling the character, but obviously if you want to like if you want it in your own way, like it should look bigger or smaller and something like that, you can scale it. And for that you have one thing, that is set character expansion factor. Okay, so CW is the thing that is given to you is set to a positive real number that scales the character body width. Okay, you try to imagine this thing also. Okay, spacing between character is controlled by function that is set character spacing. Okay, we'll go through all of this thing very quickly because there are so many things that are available in this package, so you can always like learn this thing, you can always do it by your own, where the character spacing cs can be assigned any real value. Okay, based on the value it would be like setting some space. Okay, so now we have one more thing, very good thing that is available to us is the orientation for a displayed character string. Okay, character string, okay, is set according to the direction of the character of vector. Okay, so now what we can do is like we can like slant our text, or we can give a particular direction to our text. So as you generally have in html and in the paint or in the word art, that's what you do, you just try to orient it like to look or to make it a little bit cool. Okay, so that same thing is available in the graphics. Okay, so we have parameter of vector. In this function we assign two values that specifies the x and y component. Okay, but obviously we want to change the slope, or you can say you want to change the direction of the text, then we need to do this thing. Okay, so text is then displayed so that orientation of character from the baseline to the caps line is in the direction of the of vector. Okay, based on the vectors that you are giving, it will look like that. Okay, now we have one more thing, that is for setting the path of the character we use function set text path. Okay, so now we have this thing. Okay, so where the text path parameter tp can be assigned the value right, left, up, or down. Okay, so a very good thing that is given over here, regarding the path of the character. Okay, so you can start from any direction, and similar way you can give it in that parameter form. Okay, so simply you just have to write this thing and you try to get out of it, okay, how it appears on your computer screen, how you're getting, in which color you want to appear, or how this thing are getting displayed on the monitor. So simply you try this thing by your own. Okay, for setting the alignment we have one more function, that is set text alignment. Okay, so it is very good thing that what it says is we have where parameter h and v controls horizontal and vertical alignment respectively. So you have like seen this thing in the school also. If you want something like this, let's suppose it is fast, FAST. So if you want it in this manner, then similar thing would be done by you. Okay, so many things will be done by this simple functions that are available to us. So that could be done for specifying precision for text display. It can be done with the set text precision. Okay, so now precision is nothing but like to create a crisp thing for your eyes, or for the monitor to display it. Okay, so it could be like that, to create like to change a sharpness, or to like create a multiple resolution of that thing that is to be displayed. So for that purpose you generally use this thing. Okay, so one of the thing that you can do is string, char, or stroke. So what it says is the highest quality text is produced when the parameter is set to the value stroke. Okay, so that is what you can do, but obviously the stroke would be giving you highest quality because the sharpness would be more in that case. Okay, instead of the previous two. So like one by one you can check this thing. Okay, I can't be showing you this thing in your like on your display screen or on your monitor, because these are the very simple thing that you can do it. Okay, so now we have one more thing with us, that is the marker attributes. Okay, so now marker attribute, yeah. So what it says, a marker symbol displays single character in different color and in different size. Okay, sometimes you want something to be more visible to the user, or something to be focused on, then at that time what you do is you generally use this thing. Okay, so now we have one readily available thing in this package, that is marker attributes. So now for marker attribute implementation, that loads the chosen character into the raster at defined position with the specified color and size. So you have few things in this in this marker that you can like use for your own purpose. So what it says is we select marker type using function set marker type. Okay, so in that you have empty. So empty is set to an integer code. You'd be having few integer values which corresponds to some specific thing in the library. Okay, so now typical codes for marker type are the integer 1 to 5. Okay, specifying respectively. One goes for a dot, another for a cross sign. Similarly, asterisk is there and a circle, diagonal cross. So basically, you can think of it. Okay, if you want something like this or this or this on your computer screen, and in between you'd be having some text or something very important. So you can generally embed that text with this particular marker things. Okay, so but obviously, if you have this thing, you can always change the size. That is how you want it to be on the computer screen. Okay, so these are the things that you can give in this package. Now displayed marker types are centered on the marker coordinates. Okay, so that is what you have to keep in mind. And we set the marker size with the function. So size can be like scaled up or down with the help of this thing that is set marker size scale factor. Okay, so simple thing is that, and inside the ms you can give a positive value, like for how many like for which value you want to scale it. Okay, and similarly for setting marker color we use function that is set poly marker color index that can be given with mc. Okay, so similarly you can like display your marker with your respective color. Okay, okay, good. So now we have very important thing. Dekho, till now we have seen basic functions that are available to us and that you can play with or you can work with. And so this thing is needed to be, these things are needed to be explored by you only. So try to explore it in your C program. Try to explore it by your own. These are nothing but these are the readily available functions that you can use in your code. Okay, so now we'll see one important thing that is given over here is aliasing. Okay, we have one problem with the older devices that you already know. You were having the games in the earlier days that was very pixelated and that was giving you jagged appearance, and so this is needed to be like solved. Okay, if you have this kind of thing, so what it says is we have one problem, it is aliasing. Okay, primitives generated in raster graphics, but obviously till now we have seen that was working on the integer values that was rounded off. But now these things are like creating problem for us. So by various algorithm having step, shape or jagged appearance as it is shown over here. Okay, but we don't want to be that pixelated. Okay, because that won't look good. Okay, so now what it says is due to integer calculation by routing the actual values. Okay, so that is the problem that we are facing. So now we need to deal with it. So this distortion of actual information due to low frequency sampling is called aliasing. Now simply you'd be saying that okay, if we are dealing with the low frequency thing, then you can simply multiply that frequency with some higher values. So that is what we are going to do. Okay, to solve this problem. Okay, so that can be solved with the concept that we have in computer graphics is the anti-aliasing. Okay, till now I hope this thing is clear to you. Everything kya problem hai, what we want to change and what we want to work. Okay, so work with. So basically anti-aliasing is one problem and now we gotta deal with it with the help of anti-aliasing concept. Okay, so now what it says is minimize the effect of aliasing is known as anti-aliasing. Okay, so now but obviously as we have seen, we are like having one problem, distortion may occur due to undersampling. Okay, so as we have one thing over here, so we are like we are dealing with one thing that is undersampling. Okay, and these are our sampling positions. So but obviously if you are like your thing or your frequency is not sampled properly, then you'd be getting such kind of distortion, or your things that you are getting that you are displaying on the computer screen would look somewhat distorted. Okay, so now what it says is to avoid losing information from such periodic object, what we need to do is we need to set the sampling frequency to at least twice that of the highest frequency occurring in the object. Okay, so for that, all of you already know this thing. For that we have some things which we can simply use to like make it or to simply multiply it with the greater value than the original frequency. So that thing is known as Nyquist sampling frequency. Okay, so what you'd be doing is you gotta sample that original frequency. Suppose your frequency is something around 1 kilohertz. So what you do is you try to make it twice. So simply what you gotta do is you have to multiply it with 2. So you'd be having two value. The thing that appears to you as it is given in the figure, it will be like multiplied with the twice value. Okay, and it would appear in this manner. So basically होता क्या है ना, if you apply this thing on this on your image, so क्या होता है ना, the crispiness or जो something the staircase appearance होता है ना, it would be like blurred, okay, at some stages, because you might be having some like tail of a cat or something that looks so much of like pixelated. So what you do is you try to blur that information, the sharp things that are appearing in your object. So basic thing is that. Okay, and that could be given in this simple manner. Okay, 2 into maximum frequency that is appearing at that time. Okay, agar wo 2 hai, तो you just have to multiply 2 with that thing. Okay, so that is what it says. And now in other words, so these are the like technical things that you can like apply. But because we have one thing, because we are like simply working with some high level languages, so we not have to go with that much like detailed thing, or we not have to go in that much detail to like entail alias or an object, because you are like already having this PixArt and all that do this kind of filtering for you. Okay, at the end they are doing nothing but they are trying to add some like rectangular filter or like Gaussian filter or something to like reduce the noise out of your image or to remove the distortion out of the image. Okay, so this thing like are done by the GUI based things only. Okay, so you don't have to go with these things. So now what it says is, in other words, sampling interval should be no longer than the one half the cycle. Okay, so nahi to kya hoga na, if you make it more than that, then you'd be getting a like a very blurred thing. Okay, if you have very crisp image of a sunflower, okay, तो detail सारी miss हो जाएगी, so you'd be getting very blurred thing. So you have to be in that interval only so that the detail won't get dispersed. Okay, so now one way to solve this problem is to display image on a high resolution. Okay, that is a very simple thing that you can always follow. So now display that thing on a high resolution, that is the like you have this thing Macintosh and all. So if you compare that thing with your ordinary monitors and some ordinary things, so you can clearly notice that particular difference. Okay, how good it looks to you. Okay, it is based on the higher resolution thing that they are working, because each and everything looks so good. But it has also limit that how much large buffer we can maintain along with maintaining the refresh buffer, that is 30 to 60 fps. Okay, so now total this thing, what it says is, and also on higher resolution, aliasing with will remain up to some extent even if you are working with the high resolution devices. Okay, so now we have one more thing. With raster system that are capable of displaying more than 2 intensity level, we can apply anti-aliasing method to modify pixel intensities. Okay, but obviously see, what we are doing is we are dealing with the images or some objects or something that you are displaying on the monitor, and we are getting that kind of like very pixelated thing. So now what we try to do is, instead of working or instead of going in that manner, what it says is, like we try to change the intensity values of the pixels. Okay, or you can say subpixels. So based on the intensity value, if you are able to do so now, then it will be definitely giving you some sort of like blur effect or some sort of anti-aliasing effect. Okay, so that looks good to you instead of the pixelated thing. Okay, so now based on that concept only, we are going to see our different things, okay, that we are having in the computer graphics, and few matters that we have. Okay, so what it says, by appropriately varying the intensities of pixel along the boundaries of the primitives, we can smooth the edges to lessen the aliasing effect. The things that are very sharp or the things that are actually giving you the pixelated thing, okay, so we'll try to blur that thing, or we'll try to remove that thing out of the image so that we can get a complete good looking thing. Okay, so now we have few methods that we are going to study today. So very first thing that we have is this, that is super assembling the straight line segments. See, we are dealing with the lines that we would be having at any scenario. Okay, instead of the complex object, try to like forget this thing as of now. But instead of that, you try to keep one thing in mind, that we have one line that is very pixelated, and we're trying to like blur that thing, or we're trying to blur the edges, okay, out of it. So now we have first thing, that is super assembling the straight line segments, and then pixel weighting the mask, okay. And then the third thing is area assembling straight line segment, okay. Filtering techniques, pixel phasing, compensation for line intensity differences, and the last thing that we have is anti-aliasing the area boundaries. So these are the few things that are also given in your like Hun and Baker. So you can refer to this thing. And the very first thing that we have is the super assembling straight line segments. Okay. So now what it says. So for the grayscale display of a straight line segment, we can divide each pixel into a number of sub pixels. Okay. Keep this thing in mind. Okay. Each pixel is divided into number of subpixels and determine the number of subpixels along the line path. Okay, so as we did in the example in your figure, what it says is we have divided one pixel into 9 subpixel, as you can see in the figure. Okay, and now what you need to determine is determine the number of subpixel along the line path that the line is passing through. Okay, so if you have 4 such pixels, then you gotta take the count of that pixels from which your line is actually passing. Okay, so that is what you have to like consider in this thing, in this case. Okay, very first thing. Now what it says is then we set the intensity value or intensity level of each pixel proportional to a number of subpixel along the line path. Okay, so now based on that information we'll try to like give some intensity value, okay, that is proportional to the number of subpixel along the line path. Okay, so now what it says, okay, in the figure area of each subpixel or each pixel is divided into 9 subpixel. Okay, as you can see, this is one like main pixel or the major pixel, and then we have in turn divided that pixel into 9 subpixel, and then what we need to determine is how many number of subpixels are along the line. So in our case we have 3 such like subpixels from which your line is passing, so you have to take that count, so it can be 3 or 2 or 1 as we divide into 9 subpixel. Okay, agar 9 hoga and if we are considering a line, then but obviously our range will be in this particular thing. Your line, your number of subpixels would be in this range only, that can vary from 3 to 1. Okay, so for this particular case we have count of 3. Okay, so based on number 3 or 2 or 1, we assign the intensity value to that pixel. Okay, so now you gotta give some intensity to that pixels from which your line is passing. Okay, so now similarly, to make it more proper, or to zoom it a bit more, what it says is we can achieve 4 intensity level by dividing the pixel into 16 subpixels. Okay, so now to get go more pixel intensity values, to make it more crisp, what it says is you gotta divide that thing into multiple more pixels. Okay, so to get the full intensity value you gotta divide it into 16 subpixels, and to divide it into 5 intensity value you gotta divide it, that main pixel, into 25 subpixels. Okay, and so on. Similar thing is to be followed. And okay, good, yeah, not a problem. 3, 2 and 9. No, see, you have to keep one thing in mind. In this, what it says is you have to divide your subpixel, your main pixel, into subpixel. Okay, so you consider this case where we have divided one pixel into 9 subpixel, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, over here we have 9 subpixels. So now what it says is whenever we consider this scenario where we have one line that is passing through our pixels, that is our subpixels. So if you consider this 9 subpixels, so but obviously if we consider 9 subpixels in this case, then our line would be passing at max, it would be passing from 3 such subpixels only, you won't be having more than that. But if you divide your main pixel into like 16 subpixels, or it says 25 subpixels, so you can have more than 3 subpixels so that you can assign some priority, you can assign some intensity value. Okay, but now for this particular case we have like divided the main pixel into 9 subpixel. So we could be having this case, okay, where our line can pass from like 3 subpixels or 2 subpixels or 1. Okay, so you consider this case. In this particular pixel there is only 1 subpixels from which your line is passing through. Okay, so we have 1 subpixels where we would be able to give some intensity value. So based on that you can have multiple things. So as it says, based on the number 3 or 2 or 1, we can assign the intensity value to that pixel. Okay, so basically क्या होता है ना, if your line is passing through more subpixels then it would be giving you more values of that pixels कि हाँ भाई मुझे ये line तो मुझे properly illuminate करनी है. But if your line is not passing through that thing, then you're like more, if your main pixel won't be having that many subpixels from which your line is passing, then it will be giving you less intensity, okay, as compared to the other pixel. So if you have less intensity, that pixel would be illuminated less as compared to the neighboring pixel. So that is the basic fundamental that you have to follow, and that is what it says. To get 4 intensity levels you can divide it into subpixels, 16 subpixels, and to get the 5 intensity value you gotta divide it into 25 subpixels. Okay, that is what it says. So now, but obviously as I told you, lower intensity gives blurred effect and hence perform anti-aliasing. Okay, but obviously the more the value is, the more brighten that particular pixel would appear. Okay, so other way is we consider pixel area of finite size, but what we can do, we treat a line as a mathematical entity with 0 width. Okay, but obviously it is not 0. You'd be having the line with some specific value, you'd be having line with some width. So in that case what you gotta do is, displayed lines have a width approximately equal to that of a pixel. Okay, you have that much thick line. So now in this particular case what it says is, if we take finite width of a line into account, we can perform the super sampling by setting each pixel intensity proportional to the number of subpixels inside the polygon representing the line area as it is given over here. So now what we are doing is, see, this is 1 pixel. You have to like imagine this thing now. ये कोई grid नहीं है, this is 1 pixel, and further we have divided that pixel into 9 subpixels. Okay, so each of these would be having some values. Suppose it is 0.6, suppose it is 0.9, suppose it is 0. Like 912 or something like that. Okay, so in turn it would be giving you the intensity of this main major pixel that is you are having. Okay, main pixel. So that is what I say. So if you have finite width of a line into account, we perform super sampling by setting each pixel intensity proportional to the number of subpixels inside the polygon representing the line area. So now for this case what we are going to do, that we will see. Okay, because now we have taken finite width of a line, okay, as compared to the 0 width. So now subpixel can be considered to be inside the line if its lower left corner is inside the polygon boundary. Okay, so you have one condition to check over here, that is, if your lower left corner is inside the polygon boundary, then you gotta consider that subpixel. Okay, consider, I mean, if I say consider, then you have to give some intensity to it instead of giving it a 0 value. Okay, so now what it says is, advantage of this is that it having number of intensities equal to the number of pixels. Okay, number of subpixel. So each and everything, if you consider this thing, each and everything from which your like line area or from which your polygon area is passing through would be having some intensity instead of like simply not having any value. So if you have this case, then but obviously if each and every pixel subpixel of a main pixel is having some value, then you'd be getting some like something to be displayed on the monitor. Okay, so that is what it says. And another advantage of this, that it will distribute total intensity over more pixel. So similar case is that, as I told you, if you are considering like pixel in the rounded form, then you'd be having this staircase kind of appearance. But if you are like distributing your image or distributing your line over more pixels, then it would be giving you more like more such thing to be displayed on the monitor.
Okay, so now over here we have one thing in the figure, pixel below and left to 10 20. Okay, so now over here is also assigned some intensity value so that aliasing will reduce. Okay, so now you can consider this case. Okay, so now we have one pixel that it says that 1020 is also assigned some intensity value so that the aliasing will reduce. Okay, so now instead of stopping at this particular point, okay, वो क्या बोल रहा है ना, instead of like stopping at this stage, and what it says that okay, if you have something to be displayed and you have something that like that get finished at this stage. Okay, so in the actual scenario you have one line or you have one thing, suppose it is an image of a Mario. Okay, and if it is pixelated, so what you try to do is whenever you encounter the edges or whenever you encounter the pixelated thing that shows you one line or that shows you the boundary, what you try to do is you try to overlap that boundary with some particular color or with particular pixel, so that won't look to the user as it is given over here as a line or as a boundary. Okay, so pixelated thing को blur कर देगा वो point if you go beyond that particular point. Okay, particular point I mean to say that you just have to consider a bit. Okay, so that can be blurred instead of getting this very like very neat line. Okay, so now for color display we can modify level of color by mixing background color and line color. Okay, so that can be done at that stage. Okay, so that is what it says in the subpixel. देखो आपको imagine करना पड़ेगा कि how this thing would appear on the computer monitor, because ये pixel आपको appear नहीं होते but obviously, but you simply see is the monitor screen, and but obviously now you have done few practical based on this coordinates and pixel system, so now you know. So that is what it tries to say. You are a display this thing, you try to reduce the aliasing effect, the pixelated thing, and you try to give some intensity value to this edges. Okay, तो उसको उसने क्या किया है, it has just simply divided that pixels into the subpixels and tries to give that pixel some intensity, and all of this intensity would give the main intensity or some value to the main pixel. Okay, so that is what you have to imagine at each and every stages. If it is for line, then it would appear like that, and you have to just keep account of this thing. But if the line is of finite width, then also you have to consider this case. Okay, so you gotta imagine this thing. So now we have one more thing over here, that is pixel weighted mask. Okay, देखो, one thing that you have to keep in mind is that you are dealing with an image or something to be displayed. So, but obviously you'd be having some intensities, okay, associated with it. But because we are like rounding it off to the nearest integer value, so we won't be considering that case. But instead of that, we are giving some intensity values. Okay. So now what it says is super sampling method are often implemented by giving more weights to the subpixel near the center of the pixel area. Why we need to do this thing? Because it is like more significant area of that pixel. Okay, that's why we are giving more weight to that center area. Okay, so as we expect centers of pixel to be more important in determining the overall intensity of a pixel, because the thing that appears in the center would be illuminated more as compared to the neighboring things. That's why we are assigning more higher value to the center pixel. So the same thing is given over here. For the 3 by 3 pixel subdivision, we have considered a weighting scheme as shown in the figure could be used. Okay, so based on this, suppose your line is passing from these 3 pixels, so you have to take this intensity value out of the subpixel. Okay, you'll be taking 1, you'll be taking 4, and you'll be taking 1 again. Why 4? To get it to be illuminated more, to get the higher value for that middle pixel. Okay, similarly, if it is passing from here, then you'd be giving this, you'll be taking this value. Okay, in our case is 2 1. So similar thing, it is not like that ki ye value yahan pe likhi hai, so you have to take this values only. You can take your own thing based on your image, based on the thing that you are displaying. It can always be set. Okay, so now what it says, the subpixel here is weighted 4 times that of corner subpixel and twice that of the remaining subpixel. See, if you want your pixel that okay nahi sir, mujhe middle mein zyada values nahi deni hai, I want it to appear in another way. So you can like modify it for your own purpose. But obviously, as per the concept says, the middle pixel would be giving you more proper thing to illuminate that thing. Okay. So by averaging the weight of the subpixel which are along the line and assigning the intensity proportional to the average weight will reduce the aliasing effect. Okay. So at the end, what you gotta do is you just have to average the weight of the subpixel which are along the line. Okay, keep this thing in mind. Which are along the line. If we are considering the line case, if you are considering a polygon, then again the scenario will change and assign the intensity proportional to the average weight. Okay, that would reduce the aliasing effect. So instead of like one major pixel, you have divided into the subpixels. So that is what it says. Okay, so okay, that is one thing. So now what it says is now we have one thing, that is area sampling straight line segment. Okay, area sampling straight line segment. So now over here we have one thing, that is area sampling. So now what it says, in this scheme we treat line as a finite width rectangle. Okay, instead of a zero width line, you have to again consider this thing, that is a finite width rectangle. Okay, instead of a zero width line. A finite width rectangle, that says nothing but what it says is like you are considering your line with some width. Okay, that would appear to you as a finite width rectangle, or you can say to the monitor as a finite width rectangle. And the section of line area between two adjacent vertical or two adjacent horizontal screen grid lines. Okay, so now we'll see this case also. So now what it says, overlap areas for pixels are calculated by determining how much of the trapezoid overlap each pixel in that vertical column or horizontal row. Okay, so now, so basically what you are doing is you are trying to find out the area that has been covered by that particular you can say rectangle or a line. Okay, and then based on the area coverage you are trying to give some intensity. Now instead of like considering the pixels, what you are trying to do is you are trying to get the coverage, that okay, out of 100% of the pixel, the particular line or the particular rectangle is covering 85% or 90% of that particular pixel. Okay, so now over here what it says is pixel with screen grid coordinates, that is 1020, that is this case. Okay, is about 90% covered by the line area. Okay, and so it intensity would be this thing. Okay, 1020, that is this particular case we have considered. Okay, so it is 90% covered, as you can see over here, because the area or because the thing that is passing through that pixel, it says that 90% is covered, as you can see over here, and only a few things is remaining. Okay, at this side. So now, so its intensity would be set to 90% of the maximum intensity, maximum addressable intensity. If it is 1, then out of that 1, 90% value should be given to this thing, that is equal to 0.9. Okay, so that is what it say, and that is how you can set the intensity value in area sampling straight line segment. Okay, similarly the pixel at 1021, what it says would be set to an intensity of about 15% of the maximum. Okay, so वो आपको अभी देखना है कि बेस्ड ऑन द कवरेज दैट वी आर हैविंग, वो कौन सी लाइक कितना कवरेज वो कवर कर रहा है, एंड हाउ मच वैल्यू इट इज गिविंग टू that particular thing out of the maximum value. Okay, so it can be easily determined out of the given thing. Okay, so now with color display okay, so now with color display, the area of pixel overlap with different color region is calculated, and the final pixel color is taken as color average color of the various overlap areas. Okay, so basic thing is you just need to take into the consideration that how much area that particular color or particular like color region is covering, and then you have to calculate the whole thing. Okay, and based on that you can simply consider or simply take the value of that particular pixel. Okay, तो जो भी आपका आ रहा है वो आपको इससे लेना पड़ेगा. So this is one conceptual thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay, see intensities पे ही काम होगा बहुत सारे. I know from you are working on this neural network and deep learning models or machine learning models. Over there also you are working with the images. So in that case also, as I told you earlier, you are working with the intensity values instead of a whole image. So if you know how these intensities would appear, then only you can understand this thing. Else नहीं पता चलेगा आपको, because at the end your image or line or something that appears on the computer screen is nothing but the values. Okay, that could be given in the matrix or in the grid. So if you know this thing, only you'd be able to imagine this thing. Okay, so ये cover इससे क्या होगा? Basically you try to give some intensity, and based on the intensity you can like like you can blur that thing. Okay, you can remove the jagged appearance at that particular pixel. Okay, so now we have one more thing, that is the filtering technique, and in that you are having few things. That is the readily available filters. So over here we have, for example, is rectangular filter is there, canonical filter, Gaussian filter is there. So but obviously you already know this thing is nothing but they are used to remove the noise out of the given thing, or they try to blur the given thing. Okay, so अगर मैं आप PixArt भी लोगे and you try to give this Gaussian filter to that image, so it will try to blur it. जो intensity पहले होगी ना वो पूरी reduce हो जाएगी, and you'd be getting something very blur or something like that. So method for applying the filter function are similar to applying a weighted mask, but obviously you are dealing with the original intensity value and you try to give some weighted mask, and we integrate over the pixel to obtain the weighted average intensity. Based on the calculation, this filters are applying to that image value or the line or the thing that you have given to it. You will try to give you new values, and based on that you are trying to trying to reduce that intensities. Okay, and similarly to reduce the competition we often use table lookup method. Okay, so yeah, I did not have to bother about the actual scenario how these filters are doing this thing in detail, but you just need to keep one thing. These are the things that generally the developers adapt to, like filter out the things or to blur the things. Okay, but this is one of the things that the developers adapt to blur or to reduce the aliasing effect. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. You have one more lecture. I have your attendance with me.